The smell of freshly brewed coffee filled the grand ballroom as waiters moved like a quiet symphony between glittering chandeliers and tables dressed in gold. But among the polished shoes and sparkling glasses, one man's trembling hands told a different story. Daniel wasn't nervous because of the rich crowd or the cameras flashing around him. He was nervous because he couldn't afford another mistake. One spill, one wrong move, and the fragile world he'd built for his little daughter could come crashing down again. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that still believe in humanity. Daniel, 32, had been a waiter for nearly 8 years. Life hadn't gone as planned. He once dreamed of running his own cafe, a cozy place with soft music and the smell of cinnamon rolls, but that dream died the day his wife, Clara, passed away after a long illness. Overnight, he became both father and mother to their 5-year-old daughter, Lily. Bills piled up faster than his tips, and every night after work, he'd come home exhausted, only to help Lily with her bedtime stories and tuck her into bed with promises of better days. His uniform was always spotless, his smile polite, but behind it lived a man barely holding it together. The hotel where Daniel worked was hosting a corporate gala for a multinational company that night. The CEO, a woman named Evelyn Chase, was known for her perfection, her cold precision, and her zero-tolerance attitude toward incompetence. Her company employed thousands, and her decisions shaped industries. To Daniel, she was another guest to serve, another person who lived in a world far removed from his own. That evening, as Daniel carried a tray of fine china cups and a polished coffee pot, his mind drifted to the text message he'd received from the hospital earlier that day. Lily's medical tests had come back, and the results weren't good. Her heart condition, which he'd hoped was improving, had worsened. The doctor recommended immediate surgery, something Daniel couldn't possibly afford on a waiter's salary. He had already begged for more shifts, sold his car, and even taken small loans, but the number the doctor mentioned, $42,000, felt like an impossible mountain. As Daniel stepped closer to the VIP table where Evelyn Chase sat surrounded by business partners and reporters, his mind buzzed with desperation. He needed help, real help. He had spent the afternoon trying to meet her assistant, hoping to plead for a small sponsorship or a charity donation through the company's foundation. But he had been turned away at every door. No one wanted to hear a poor waiter's story. They told him to focus on his job. Then, in one reckless, heart-pounding moment, Daniel made a decision that would change his life forever. As he leaned forward to pour coffee into Evelyn's cup, his hand trembled. The hot liquid splashed, spilling across her pristine white suit. Gasps rippled through the room. Cameras flashed. The once silent ballroom turned into a storm of murmurs. Evelyn shot up, eyes blazing, clutching at the coffee-stained fabric. Daniel froze, every muscle stiff with horror. He didn't stammer an apology or make excuses, he simply looked at her with eyes full of guilt and quiet resolve. Security rushed forward, but Evelyn raised her hand to stop them. Her voice, sharp and cold, cut through the noise. "What is the meaning of this?" she demanded. Daniel lowered his gaze. "I needed to talk to you, ma'am," he said softly. "They wouldn't let me." For a long, tense moment, no one spoke. Evelyn's face tightened in disbelief. "So you thought spilling coffee on me was the way to do it," she hissed. Daniel swallowed hard, his voice trembling. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect you. I just didn't know what else to do. My daughter, she's sick. I need help. I've tried everything. Please, just listen for a minute." The photographers kept clicking, capturing every second of the humiliation. Evelyn's company PR team hurried toward her, whispering about image damage and press control. But Evelyn's eyes, for just a second, softened. She saw something raw in Daniel's face, something she hadn't seen in years, desperation rooted in love. She gestured for everyone to give them a moment. Daniel explained everything in a shaky voice, the endless hospital visits, the bills, his late wife, the nights when he'd watch his daughter sleep and wonder if he'd be able to keep her alive. He said he'd applied for help through the company's foundation but never got a reply. He'd come tonight hoping for a miracle. "I know I shouldn't have done this," he whispered, "but when you're watching someone you love slip away, you stop thinking straight." The room had grown silent again, except for the faint hum of the chandelier lights. Evelyn didn't say a word. Her assistants guided her away as Daniel was escorted out by security. He didn't resist. He'd already lost his job, his dignity, and probably his last chance. When he got home that night, he sat beside Lily's bed and watched her sleep, tears silently falling as he promised he'd find a way. The next morning, Daniel received a call from an unknown number. A woman's calm, professional voice asked him to come to the hospital. When he arrived, he found a nurse waiting with papers in her hand. "Your daughter's surgery has been approved," she said gently. "All expenses covered." Daniel stared at her, stunned. "That can't be right," he murmured. I don't have insurance but before he could finish, the nurse handed him a sealed envelope. Inside was a handwritten note. "Mr. Collins, sometimes fate has strange ways of introducing people. Your courage reminded me of someone I once lost, a man who would have done anything for his child. The world needs fathers like you. Take care of your daughter. Evelyn Chase." Daniel's knees went weak. He sat down, clutching the letter as though it were life itself. He couldn't stop the tears. The woman he had embarrassed, the woman whose white suit he had ruined in front of hundreds, had quietly paid for his daughter's surgery. No press release, no cameras, no interviews, just kindness in its purest form. Weeks later, Lily's surgery was successful. She recovered faster than doctors predicted, her laughter filling their small apartment once again. Daniel returned to the hotel to apologize formally, but Evelyn had already left for another country. However, the hotel manager gave him a sealed envelope containing an employment offer from Evelyn's company. It wasn't for a waiter's job but for a position managing a small cafe the company owned as part of its social outreach program. That cafe, tucked away near a quiet park, became Daniel's new beginning. He named it Clara's Corner in memory of his late wife. Every morning, Lily helped him arrange flowers on the tables, and Daniel greeted customers with the same warm smile he once faked, but now it came from a place of gratitude and hope. Months later, a woman in a white coat and sunglasses quietly visited the cafe. She ordered a cappuccino and watched Daniel serve with gentle care. Before leaving, she slipped a small note under her cup that read, "She looks healthy and happy. You did well." Evelyn never stayed to talk, but Daniel saw her from the window as she walked away. He didn't chase her. Some thank yous don't need words. Life doesn't always give us grand miracles wrapped in light. Sometimes, it gives us small moments born from desperation, pain, and human connection. A spilled cup of coffee that seemed like disaster became the start of a story that reminded everyone in that room, and everyone watching later online, that kindness doesn't need an audience. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal. Let's keep spreading stories that remind us of the power of compassion and second chances.